Watch this. The one doubles strategy most players ignore that instantly turns two individuals into an unbeatable team.
第一个就是我
Today we're
想问的
talking
就是
about doubles,
双打比赛
a
中最
format
稀有
that's
的单
becoming
品是什么？
mandatory in more and more amateur tournaments, and one that demands its own strategy. Let's start with serving.
嗯
In doubles, you should serve short.
嗯
Long serves are a gift to your opponents because the return position is fixed. They're ready and waiting. The real problem is that when you move from your usual left side stance to the right side, it's hard to load spin. Your toss timing changes, you lose control of length, and the ball drifts long.
哎，对对，容易出
Exactly,
台。
when you try left side spin from the doubles position, you lose accuracy. The ball pops up or drifts long.
发右侧球。
Instead, serve right side spin. Keep the arc low and the ball short, and the receiver has almost nothing to attack. If you serve long, you're handing them a fixed point loop. They don't even need to move.
就会高很多。
Their success rate goes through the roof. Second key point, serve with little or no spin.
呃，
When you load heavy spin, the opponent can just long push hard into a deep angle. Your partner hasn't cleared the table yet, and now they're jammed. They have to move their feet and handle a loaded ball at the same time. It's nearly impossible. So the two benchmarks for a good doubles serve are: keep it short and keep the arc low with minimal
这个一
spin.
定教教大家，
The more spin you put on, the worse it gets for your own side.
弧线第一，
A spinny serve comes back heavy, and your partner pays the price.
教一下。
If the return has backspin, your partner has to lift it. That's tough mid-rally.
搭档遭罪。
But a low, flat serve, the opponent can't push hard without risking it sailing long. And here's the other trap.
对对对。
When players try to force heavy spin, they lose length control. The ball goes long, and in doubles, a long ball is an invitation to attack.
教一下吧。
Now placement. The worst thing you can do in doubles is serve long to the sideline.
嗯。
Your opponent is standing right there with a full swing path, they'll rip it. Instead, aim toward the center line, slightly to the opponent's middle. That's the most uncomfortable spot for them.
哦，其实我们
See this position here.
不要可假法。
Don't serve wide to the forehand corner either.
对对。
If they redirect it down the line, your partner can't reach it. You have to think about where your partner will be. You're forcing them to move farther, which buys your partner time.
嗯。
If the receiver stays too central after returning, they block their own partner's view. Their partner can't see the ball at all. Watch what happens. After the receive, the player has to clear out. If they move the wrong direction, they end up screening their teammate completely. The whole court is blocked. So where should you direct your serve? Toward the middle, not to the wide forehand. Especially if the receiver uses a forehand receive, the center placement jams them and limits their angle. Next, the core mindset in doubles is this: one player loads the cannon, the other fires it. Your job is to create opportunities for your partner, and when they rotate in, they create opportunities for you. That's when your levels are similar. If there's a gap in ability, the weaker player feeds chances to the stronger one. The stronger player scores. If both players try to score on every ball, it falls apart. Mistakes pile up. That's exactly why 1 plus 1 can equal less than 2. This guiding philosophy makes serving critically important. Doubles is about coordination first, individual play second.
嗯。
Now, when I first started playing doubles seriously, I chose to receive with my backhand because it felt more stable. But then I discovered a problem. For a right-hander, backhand receiving creates a positioning trap. After your backhand touch, you still have to shift right to clear space for your partner. That leaves a huge gap on your left, and recovering from there is extremely difficult. So my first recommendation: unless you're a dedicated long pips or chop block player, switch to forehand receiving.
然后你再去一个跑动，就会
It
觉得
sets up your next movement
对，这
much
种
more
这个2个小
naturally.
时以后，小艾老师就告诉我
Use your
说尽量
forehand
用
to
正手的
receive,
发球，尽量用
especially
正
if your
手，因为
forehand
这
is
是
a
我比
weapon.
较好的小下，然后尽量正手接，
That's
这
point
是第一
1.
点。然后正手呢，它就有很多接法，然后
Point
你需
2,
要
you need
对
to
这个
read the
球有一个
serve.
把控首先一点，我觉得就是
In
你不
doubles,
能控制你
distinguishing
这个
short
双
balls
打
from
的这个
half long
反
and
手
long
和防
balls
守
is
的这个，
everything.
你把这个盯住。我是怎么盯的呢？一
Here's
般
the
小艾老师
method:
之前跟我
split
说
the
过，一
table
般
in
第一
half
跳，你
lengthwise.
如果第一跳在这个一半儿，基本上就是个长球，
If the
这我
first
就会
bounce
放
lands in the back
对
half,
对
treat
对
it
对
as a
对
long
对，
ball
就是
and look
这
to
个挺重要
attack.
的，这个
If
如
it's
果他的
short,
这个一
push
半
or
是这
short
样的
touch
话，
it.
你长短你得会定，如果
If it's
短的话，你
long,
就会
get your
经常
forehand
会
in an
犯错
attack.
这个是第一点，就是
Build this
第二
habit
就是
through
你要用
repetition.
正手接，提高你的上手
Don't
力，因
default
为
to your
啥？因为我
backhand
不能
just
因为
because it feels
你不能
safer
说因为我
or
接
your
正手，
push
你
is a
感
bit
觉我
spinnier.
搓的可能转一点，你就用
One
正
steady
手接，因为
backhand
没有人给
touch
你机
might
会，
work if your
对，
partner finishes the point
从这个
immediately.
反对有解决问
But
题
if
的，
they
如
don't,
果解决不了
the
不好
opponent's
好的，基
reply
本上就
usually
是
catches
对
you stranded at a brutal angle.
接一个，我怕你
Most
让一下
players,
啊。
the moment they get nervous in doubles,
我从
end
上
up
来就
serving
知道
half long.
大部分一紧张全是半出台，所以我
So
们现
luck
在如果
onto
跟你
that
上
half
哪儿
long
相
ball.
处，你必须盯住这板半出台。你看，
Once
这
you
板半
start
出台，你
hunting
只
it
要
with your
盯住，
forehand,
对方
the
这个
pressure
防
on
守
the
的这个
server
侧翼，
becomes
任何人
enormous.
整的都不会发
They
现，
lose
所以他
confidence
滑滑
because
球
they
必须
can't
得有
control the
防守，
depth.
站在那儿他得让位置，所以说一定要用正手。
Even if
因
they
为
try
我
to
想
keep it
发球，我
short,
控制不
the
住，
ball
对，
drifts half
特
long.
别容易出。而且这种球你站着了，是的，
And
你
if you're
站
set
着了
up
他
for a
不能
half long
对
ball and a
对
short one
对，
comes
你看，
instead,
比如他先
you
给你
still
发
have
球，你
time
只
to
是个反
adjust
手
and
点，
handle
他
it.
也来得及去处理。对，我在重
You
心一
barely
下
need to
回来，对，
move,
因为你
just
不
shift
停
your
的
weight
动
forward
嘛，
and you're on it.
对不对，球们？如
If you
果
commit
正
to
手的
watching
你
for
能
half
不
long
按照这
serves,
个半出台，
you'll
正好
find 8
时
or
刻
9 out of 10 are
特
exactly
别好，
that,
就是尤其是这种紧
especially
张
when
的
the
局面的
opponent is
话，
under
我觉得
pressure.
基本上是半出台，你只要
A
让对方
simple
看见我
spin
在
loop
这里，
on
我
that
就特
ball
别难
is
受。
incredibly hard for
对，
them to
但是
deal
如果
with.
你反手接，你一个是反
Now,
反
if you
手
try to
跟
take a half
反
long
手
ball
跟
with
这
your
个反手
backhand,
特别
it
能力特
jams
别
you,
强，
it's
反手
awkward,
跟
it's
很难打，
cramped.
而且你看我拉完夹
And
后
after a
打，这
backhand
个有压
receive,
位，这
recovering
个有压
position
位，
for the
这
next
个
shot
你
means a
看这
huge
个人
step,
步伐就
which
特别
costs you
快，把握
time.
特别难，所以说一定
So
要
train
用锻
yourself
炼
to
这个正
receive
手
with your
接，
forehand
然后
on
再
those
第一
half
点，
long
第
balls.
二点我感觉就是大家要有
That's
啥，
point
要干啥
1.
一定要学习控球能力，
Point
不能
2.
白短，
If you want to
长
improve at
打或者
doubles,
小打，
you
然后
absolutely
或者说
must
长打
develop your
小打
short
这
game
种，
control.
挑的真好，我们一发球
Short touches, long pushes, flicks, these are your bread and butter over the table.
就咱俩不是跟他们打
The
排球
better
还
your
挺好
touch
的，
on short
我把那
balls,
个我
the
俩
more
发球都
pressure you
特别细，
create.
什么勾手，只要高一点，
Work on your
都是反
push,
条
your
条
short
的，
touch, your placement.
所以说大家这个台上
Doubles is won and lost in those first few touches over the net.
这是第二点，我给大家建议。
Point 3.
第三点
Target the opponent's backhand
小艾
side.
就是双打一定要盯对手的反手位，
Whether they're right-handed
正
or
手
left-handed,
右手还是左手，
their backhand in
先让他
doubles
去
is
盯对手
always
反手
less
位，
threatening than their
因为这个
forehand.
反手位在双打里威胁就是没有
If
正
both
手的话，
opponents are
比
left-handed,
如说
you
对方
work
是
one
练左
line.
手的话，我可能
If both are right-handed, you
如果
favor
对
the
方左
other,
手的
but
话，
the
我可能
principle
会
is the
盯对
same.
面，就是任何
Make
反
them
手
play
位
backhand.
也不让他
Never
正
let
手
them
的
step
反手，
around and
这
use
是
their
第三点，
forehand
所以
against
一
you.
般大家双打的时候尽量有这种线路的意识，
Develop that placement
对，
awareness.
控制落点为主要， 对，控制为主， 因为你不
In
管这个
doubles, with all the rotation and
小打，我感
movement,
觉他的
you
这
don't
个
need to hit winners every
正手
ball.
你就你比别人多一板就行，不是说
If you can consistently put the ball on the table with good direction, that alone is enough to win points.
就是你只要能稳定上台，这个你这个球就有打。如果说你频
If you
繁的失
keep
误，尤其
missing,
是你
even
生
a
生
few
不
big
息的
winners
三
won't
分钟
save
左
you,
右，剩下
and
的
your
都是你
partner
自己打
starts
的，
pressing,
就是有
adding
的人会
risk,
很
and the
难
whole
受这
team
个，就是你失
unravels.
误多了，他就特别想弥补这个事儿，
So
然后
when you
一想
attack
让
in
别人，
doubles,
一想怎么样
favor
让
spin
你
loops for
更压
consistency.
力出来，动作稳定性就降下。
On short balls, prioritize control and placement over power.
在这种台内的控制，就以控制为主，然后以稳定为主，这个是我给大家一个接发球的建议。